So another characteristics of living beings is that they all need food and nutrition. So all living organisms, that is animals and plants, need food for growth and development. Living things consume food to obtain energy to carry out different functions in their body. Animals depend on other organisms for food and hence they are called heterotrophs. So, plants prepare their own food with the help of sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide by the process of photosynthesis. Hence, they are called autotrophs. Since they produce food for others, they are also called producers. So, this way, we can say that all living beings need food for their growth and development, whether it be plants or animals or human beings. But non living things, they do not need nutrition. So that is how we can say that food is requirement of food is the characteristics of living beings only. Now the next feature of living beings which we will talk about is reproduction. So we know that living things reproduce, that is they give birth to their young ones. Now first of all, let's talk about that why reproduction is required. It is to maintain particular species of living organisms and thus to maintain ecological balance. As we know that biological diversity is really important to maintain balance in the environment. Now there are different ways of reproduction. As we know, mammals like human beings and elephants, tigers, giraffes. So all of these are mammals and they give birth to their young ones. Whereas birds, insects, they lay eggs. Then in plants, generally the reproduction is through seeds, but sometimes through stem cutting or through leaves, a new plant can also be grown. So this is known as asexual or vegetative reproduction. Now, this last feature which we have to talk about related to the living beings, that is excretion. Now, first of all, what is excretion? Excretion is a process by which metabolic waste is eliminated from the body of an organism. And what is the need of excretion? That is to maintain correct ionic balance in the body, to maintain correct amount of water in the body, and toxin level it rises in body if excretion would not take place, and therefore immunity is adversely affected. So, when a person is having a lot of toxins inside the body, his her immunity decreases and a person is more prone to fall ill. So, therefore, excretion is an essential process. Now, what are the different excretory products in the human body? These are urea, which is excreted through urine, carbon dioxide given out during exhalation, and sweat, which is called perspiration. Now, excretion occurs in plants as well. For example, oxygen, which is released as a result of photosynthesis, that is removed from the plant. Then, transpiration occurs in plants, in which plants lose water from the surface of the leaves. Also, the old leaves they dry out and fall, so this is also a way of excretion. Also, latex and resin and gum that is produced by the plant, that is also a way of removal of the toxic products from the body of the plant. Now, one last topic which I would like to cover here is adaptation versus acclimatization. Now, since we have gone through the whole chapter now, so it must be very clear in your mind that adaptation is a permanent and long term adjustment shown by living organisms to changing environment, and the adaptation features, they take a long time to appear. On the other hand, acclimatization is a temporary and short term adjustment shown by a living organism to the changing environment, and it takes a short time to appear. For example, if you transfer fish from a river to an aquarium, so it will acclimatize itself to the changed environment. And if you are going to put it back into the river, then again it will have the same features as it had before. And another example which we can take is like sheep. If you take them in colder condition up high in the mountains, then they will grow thick wool on their bodies so as to adjust to the climatic conditions to prevent themselves from cold. Now, on the other hand, suppose we talked about camels, how they are adjusted or how they are adapted to the desert conditions. So we know that camels can survive for a long time in desert with very little water, and this is the adaptation feature of camel, and this is a permanent change, and that is passed on from generation to generation. So, this is how we have come to the end of the chapter. I hope all the topics which we have covered in this chapter would be clear to you by now.